One, two, one, two, one, two. Come on, come on.
This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life.
Chaos. That's my fucking kryptonite. And I keep coming back to this lesson. I keep finding myself in a position of chaos that I create, I think. And then I start thinking, why am I creating that? I think creating the chaos gives me something to organize, gives me purpose. Our minds are fucked up. I think that's what's going on. And it's crazy that I'll do that to myself, drive myself crazy. But I gotta ask myself, why? I mean, I understand it gives me something to control. I think I do it at times where I feel absolutely out of control. When things aren't going well, I think that's when I do that. Fuck, our minds are crazy, man. But there's also a lesson in that for me. I've got to learn to sit in that chaos like a fucking monk. Let the storm rage all around me while I just sit there calm. And that shit ain't easy. But I'm trying. And I'm learning and I'm growing. But yeah, I mean, look at your life. The problems you have, are you creating them? I looked at mine and found I think I was. Shit's madness. Anyways, welcome to the Inkpulp podcast. Today we got another ink session going on with me, Mahfood, Klaus Janson, the legend, Tim Sale, the legend. And we're inking today. We're inking Matteo Scalera, Fratelli number 2. But I noticed life keeps circling around this inking theme with me, with the podcast, with life, with my work, and now Inkpulp instruction, which you can get. Link is in the description. But I mean, I'm working here. I'm working to archive this shit. I'm working to archive these techniques, the thoughts of these masters, modern masters, older masters, whatever. I want to preserve traditional inking, and I want to offer people who are interested in it a door to go in and learn. And that's what Inkpulp instruction for now is all about. It's going to grow. It's going to cover everything. Thumbnails, coloring, writing, figure drawing, I mean, you name it. We're gonna do those videos too. But right now it's focused on traditional inking techniques. And I'm just excited about it. So check it out. I mean, this video is fucking dope. I stand by it. I am teaching, and let me tell you, I'm a solid teacher. I've got little lessons I'm going to be putting up, little demonstrations I'm going to be putting up. Some with the Inkpulp podcast, just some on my YouTube channel, but a lot. I want you all to know me as a teacher and trust me as a teacher, because it's another area I am good at instruction shit. I did it for a long time and found I had a natural ability for communicating clearly, which is great if you're a teacher. A curious mind, as you know from listening to me, that is working to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, why everyone does what they do. And that makes me a good teacher. And my work. I stand by the quality of my work. I think all that puts together makes me a kind of a unique individual in the world of comics. Experienced teaching, experienced professionally, the type of mind you want to learn from. So check that out. And enjoy today's podcast. I don't have that much more for you. I'm in the chaos storm right now. But I'm learning. So, I don't know. Are you causing your own problems? Are you? Are you? Think about it. Peace. Is this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who wants to be a millionaire? I want to be a millionaire. Hey guys, how you doing?
Jim, was that you?
I think we're live. I hope we're live. Yeah, we got a few people coming in. How's everyone doing? We got Shawn Crystal in Atlanta, Georgia. Klaus Janson's in New York City. Hey, Klaus.
Hey.
Jim Mahfood is out in Portland, right?
Hello, gang.
And
Yes, he's in Portland.
Yes.
Timmy's over in Seattle. We haven't seen you guys in a while. It's been a few months since we've been able to, do this. How's everyone been?
I'm great.
I've been good, man.
No, we're fine. Hanging in.
Just chilling, staying healthy.
Yeah, we're all healthy here. I'm with two sisters, my sweetie and her sister, and they go out in the world. I don't do much of that, other than run to the store or something. But everybody's good.
Good.
They smoke, so they're not as good as they could be. But.
Well, that's bad.
That's a hard thing to give up.
Yeah,
Incredibly hard.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'd imagine it's probably a pretty scary time to have that habit too.
That's right.
Oh,
Exactly.
With all the smoke that we had, and we had nothing like what you had, Jim.
Right.
But we had a fair amount, and I just kept, you're going to take off your mask to go outside to get some extra smoke. So.
So we're inking Matteo Scalera art today. All right, everyone.
Yeah, very excited about this one.
Let's see which images everyone's using. Let's see where are you, Jim? Let's start with Jim.
Yeah. I have this, what's this one called, Jason?
Is that Pathfinder?
Is that, Badass Warrior Dude. Is this from something? Is this from a...
Yeah. It's from one of his covers.
Yeah, these are all covers, I'm pretty sure, right, Jay?
Yeah. They're layouts and thumbnails for published covers.
Pathfinder is what I'm doing, Jay. So
Well, there's different characters on that title.
she's female,
Well, yeah, there's a male lead and a female.
and they're both Pathfinders.
I don't know. I didn't get that.
What company is this? Does anybody know?
I believe it's at Boom Studios.
Oh, they're doing good.
So you got Pathfinder. Let's see, Shawn.
I have Incorruptible, I think it is.
Incorruptible. Yep, that's right. That's number
Number 23, I think.
Yep, that's the actual published version that Matteo did, if anyone wants to check it out. So that's what Matteo actually finished.
Yeah, and we were trying to get Matteo to show up, right, for this.
Yeah, Matteo was really trying to come in on this, but he and his girlfriend had a little weekend getaway planned outside of Rome, and he was trying to push it back so he could get into this, but he couldn't work it.
Smart man.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's so Italian. Come on.
Yeah,
Weekend getaway? Come on.
yeah. Yeah, imagine being able to just head down to the mountains outside of Rome for a weekend. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, we can. We're just not allowed to travel.
Well, yeah, it also would cost just a little bit of money.
So let's see. You guys, before you started this, was there a plan of attack into?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, Jim, why don't you start?
I never even considered what it would be like to ink Mateo's work necessarily, but he's such a solid draftsman and artist that how can you go wrong? It's everything's there basically. I've also been able to sit next to him at conventions and actually watch him draw. So talk about feeling bad about your own ability. It's like, okay, maybe I'll just retire after this. I don't know. But
I've never watched him draw. I've only heard him draw.
right.
yes, the clanking of the ink splatter.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There it is. There it is.
I happen to see some of the pages that he's doing at Jason's house, what he's doing for Harley Quinn. Is that right, Jason? He's doing that Harley Quinn story?
That's correct. That's
that for the Shawn Murphy verse. And the pages were done in wash, and they are absolutely astounding. I haven't been able to get them out of my head. Absolutely incredible. And we all know, how difficult wash can be. There was not one piece of white paint anywhere. It was just amazing.
Except for the splatter.
Yeah,
Right, exactly. Yeah,
No, it's amazing the control he has with wash.
yeah, he's a special type of artist for sure.
I gave up trying to have that kind of control early on. And happily so, really. But, when I was younger, there's people like Neil Adams working in creepy and eerie and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just a master at it. And, a lot of the grads would be very smooth and stuff. And
yeah. You're talking about that vampire story, Tim?
well, the Dracula one, yeah, but there were a number of other ones, just sort of throwaways that aren't all that well known. There's a famous one he did in pencil in Vampirella,
Yeah, I remember that.
which is beautiful. But I'm talking about the wash, the control he had with wash, and then Rock God too. And I realized I liked my stuff better. It fit me better. And some of it was just, well, fuck, I'll never get this. But also it was about, I thought it fit me better to be sloppier in a way, to show the work on the page.
Yeah, I like that.
And Mateo's stuff is flawlessly smooth.
Yeah, I got to sit next to him at Tokyo Comic Con last year in Japan, and watching him do commissions, he doesn't use photo reference or anything. He just sits down and locks in and starts penciling these incredible pages or these incredible images with perspective and dynamism and everything is there. Everything's fully formed. And then he goes into inking, and his inking is flawless and has a specific technique to it. And it's just extremely impressive draftsmanship and confidence.
And he's so fast too.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah, man. We were there for 3 days, and he would his commission list, I think, was always full, and he would just sit down for the day, draw for like 7 hours straight, go out for like maybe a cigarette break, use the bathroom, and then just finish the convention drawing. And it was like this machine being turned on, and then at the end of the day, he's just done, and he doesn't like look at drawing or paper or a pen. until the next day. Like he just
Right.
then there's an explosion of creativity, and then he is just done, and that's it. You know, very impressive.
Yeah, I remember we were at a show in North Carolina, and me and Tommy Lee were watching him draw, work on a commission, and Tommy is just like, "You're just built for this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, he really is."
Did he go to school?
He did. He went to an art school in Italy. He showed me the school.
He taught as well for a while.
I knew he
Yeah.
taught. Yeah.
What is a Italian art school like? Like, is it?
Fucking amazing, I'd imagine.
I just imagine people in berets sitting around, like drinking espresso,
That's France.
Yeah, that's France, Jim.
chain smoking cigarettes, and
That's both France and Italy.
yeah,
Yeah, that part is for show.
yeah.
A student of mine went to Italy to do a year at an art school, and the sense that I had was that he described it as just very traditional. In the
Yeah,
sense that-
that's
you think so,
imagine
Shawn?
that.
I mean, they would study, Michelangelo or
yeah.
Da Vinci or,
Botticelli. Yeah.
uh,
It'd be hard to get away from that. I would imagine.
Yeah.
you mean being in Italy?
Yeah, and that there's such a wealth of masters,
Yeah.
and a lot of, there's certainly a ton of great illustrators that have come from the U.S., but they tend to be more illustrators instead of fine artists, or the stuff that we know more. Or maybe that's just me, but it, when you've got Michelangelo and people like that just around,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also the pride that I'm sure the Italians feel very strongly about
Sure.
their history.
Tim, do you think it's safe to say that most of those American illustrators were students of the Renaissance aesthetic?
Students, certainly. But so much of it comes more back to what Howard Pyle got that taught, but there's a lot of Renaissance stuff in his work.
Right.
But what's so powerful about a lot of that, besides just the rock solid drawing of all the Brandywine artists, they're like compositions.
Right.
And that's maybe not uniquely American, but is it's not Italian.
Right. Right. I see what you're saying.
Do you think so, Tim? I mean, if it's not, if they didn't really focus on composition, what was it that they focused on? Drawing?
Anatomy. They were making up perspective. They made up perspective. There was an awful lot of stuff that had, but they didn't do a lot of, other than the human form. They didn't go out and look at mountains and paint mountains. They just bring a bunch of rocks into the studio and paint rocks, and that was supposed to be mountains. For a lot of that early stuff, and a lot of that, and so like Raphael and early Renaissance stuff was very flat.
Well, because they didn't use mathematical perspective, you said. They used like foreshortening and shapes in front of each other, right? I mean.
Yes,
Yeah.
but not vanishing points and stuff like that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And then they did, but it was never really sort of the forefront of a lot of stuff for a while, and then it was.
And if anyone has any questions that they want to write down, just feel free to comment there.
And how many people are inking along, Jay? Has anyone sort of said, I'm in here doing it too?
Yeah, I don't know. No one's mentioned that yet. I know a bunch of people downloaded the blue line, so feel free to hashtag or tag me at Sequence Art, and we'll retweet them.
Yeah, and Jay, tell them where they can get it if they want to download it right now.
That's a good idea. Let me find that link.
So I'll talk about, if you want, my approach on this.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you want to pull it up, Jay.
There you go.
So this was just a very graphic cover with a nice design element in the background with the skull. And I chose it because I saw an opportunity to build a lot of cool atmosphere and depth into the piece, but also because it's so graphic, I saw a lot of opportunity in areas where I could try to bring some nuance into the blacks, like create darks, areas like this right here or in here. So areas to play, I guess, is the best way to put it. Because if I just went totally black, I think it would work. It would just feel very flat to me.
Is that a cover image?
Yeah, it's from Incorruptible number 23.
Nice.
Hello from Singapore.
What up, Singapore?
I just put the Google Drive link. If anyone wants to download it now, we'll make it available, I guess at least through today before taking it down. Oh, Mark Deering's doing one too.
Oh, awesome. What's up, Mark?
I mean, I'm doing mine. I don't want you guys to feel badly when you see how good mine comes out.
Yeah, Jay, I really don't want to see it. I mean, I'm going to give up.
I'm going to take all your jobs away. Sorry.
That was your plan from the get-go.
Yep.
I'm ready to see it, Jason. Let's check it out.
I really just don't want to make you feel dumb, Jim.
I know.
I know you've been working, pretty hard at this for so long. It make you feel upset to know, I eclipsed you guys artistically in such a short time.
Your whole reason for getting into original art dealing was actually just to fulfill your own art career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a secret motive behind all of it.
I came up with a technique just to drain all of your artistic ability and then just use it for myself.
Yes.
Gora from Singapore asks, any tips on how to improve thinking/composing in negative space?
Wow.
That's a big question.
Klaus?
Any tips on how to improve thinking? Let me think. I would say, first of all, and it sound, don't. I'm not being sarcastic. Don't fill it in. Leave it. If you have negative space, fight the compulsion to fill it in. Divide the panel into quarters or halves, and use that as a way of placing your positive and negative space. So you can easily put some positive weight, on one half of the panel, leave the other half empty for negative space, or you can divide it into quarters. Don't forget, if you're actually working for comics, you also need to leave space for balloons and captions. So negative space is a really good thing to use. Guys, you have anything you want to?
I think that was pretty awesome. I would say that along the lines of what you were getting at, the word balloons, it's better to leave more negative space than you think you even need, because the balloons come in and they take up negative space.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have some more left after they're in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, if you're thinking about negative space, you're already kind of ahead of the game. A lot of people don't. And I knew that I was always attracted to it. This is Tim, by the way. I knew that I was always attracted to it, and I didn't know why. So it just kind of got into my bones. But when I'm done here, you can see well, down here in the corner, I added this black and these. The reason I chose this one, this drawing of Mateo's, was that there was so much pattern. I wanted to play the contrast of some heavy blacks against all the stuff that he drew on the outfit. But then I also wanted a background, and I created this. There's gonna be black over here, dividing up the back, so playing with the negative space sort of geometrically. Also adding more black to make a contrast between the figure and, which is mostly pattern. It looks very Spanish sort of to me, or Italian actually.
I like it a lot. It looks good.
I mean, as an illustration, it looks like some of those guys,
Right.
Toppy or something like that.
He's the man. He's the master.
Toppy,
Yeah.
Sophie. Yeah.
Love his stuff, man.
Yeah, I was just looking at his stuff earlier in the week.
Music is a long way for me, but every once in a while, some of it just. That's the other thing is, look at a lot of stuff, and I mean, I never would have thought to do, just out of the blue, do something in a style like that. But this, I knew exactly what I wanted to do as soon as I saw this costume,
Right.
and I knew it was that kind of thing. So that was in my brain,
So you just like the design of the character.
Yeah, and I had an idea of what to do right away with working with pattern and shape and contrast.
Well, Tim, you use, I think my favorite word when it comes to art, which is contrast.
Yeah.
The concept of contrast permeates, I think, every area or every discipline of what we're doing, as artists.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, big, small, busy, quiet,
Absolutely, yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I had a question for Klaus and Tim, which is, Klaus, you were mentioning leaving room for word balloons and such.
Sure.
After doing comics for a certain amount of years, when you guys are working from someone else's script, can you look at the script and basically see, oh, this panel has this amount of dialogue. I need to leave this much amount of room at the top for 2 sentences, 4 sentences, these 3 sentences, whatever. Do you know basically how much script equates to how much balloon room is needed in a panel?
I think so. It almost becomes second nature, and I would think,
I feel the same way.
And I would think, Jim, you feel the same way, right? I mean,
Yes.
A nature with balloons, but it's what's the other component to captions and balloons is how they lead the eye across the page.
Right.
So it's not only just leaving enough room for the text, but also being able to compose the page so that the balloons and captions lead the eye, so that there's an eye flow, and that takes a little more thought, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and placing the where you place the figures also is, you're leading the eye across, and I always want to know. Jeff wrote perfect amount for me. He didn't describe an awful lot of stuff, but what he did describe was just enough for me to work from, and we'd been working together so much that he knew he didn't have to. There was kind of shorthand with that, but I always wanted to know the dialogue.
Sure.
Because how much room to leave, but also, who speaks first is going to be on the left-hand side.
Right.
Right. And making sure that flows that way. And so many artists I see do not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Get, word balloon lines crossing each other and
Right.
terrible stuff. Or the balloon, and I'm a real stickler for just my taste. I want all the balloons and everything to be inside the caption box. Inside the panel box.
Right.
I can't stand breaking the borders. So I make sure to leave enough room. And
Tim, why is that? Do you find it?
I just like the aesthetic of it.
Right.
It's even though Stan was an incredibly verbose writer at times, especially working with Ramita, and when he would get like in Spider-Man, he'd just have all this snappy patter from a 40-year-old man going on, and which I just fell for, hook, line, and sinker. I thought it was great stuff. But I look at pages now, and if I wouldn't look twice at that book as a 64-year-old man, but it's the way everything was back then.
Sure.
Right.
And then at some point it became really normal, even if there was a ton of room for word balloons in the panel box, they would just break the borders. And I'm assuming that there's a theory about leading the eye, but I hated the look of it.
Yeah.
When Marvel went to different size paper, and they suddenly everybody was drawing 4 panels on a page, Kirby especially, just to get this, get a lot of stuff there. And Stan was writing it, and it was pretty minimal, and he was still breaking the borders.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so once it came down to when I had control over it, I actually had a sort of over the phone fighting match with Jeff. Jeff fortunately was there to calm me down. You know me, Klaus, I'm a real hothead. This was a conversation with Mike Carlin, and Jeff, where I was saying what I've just been saying, and
what was Mike's counter argument?
He wanted to break borders, and he said, "Look, I've gone to school for this," and I just went off, and Jeff wisely said, "Look, Mike, are you telling us that we'll sell fewer copies if we have the word balloons in the panel borders?"
Oh, that's funny.
He said, "No." Well, then that's what we're doing.
Awesome.
Well, that's a great argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is.
Yeah, that's great. But Mike actually said, "I went to school for this." Is that what you said?
I studied this or something.
Yeah.
Well, he had a lot of experience with it, and it was the way things were more commonly
Sure.
done. I just wanted mine to be different, but it was a difference that came from how I felt when I was reading comics growing up.
Well, and not only that, Tim, but it became part of your style and your identity, which I think is, part of the goal is to make your work look, Tim Salish.
Yeah, I didn't have that in my head, but it definitely does that.
Sure. Like, Walter uses John Workman all the time. And
Right.
that's, because Walter likes that style, and it's very identifiable with his work.
I worked with Workman on a job once, and it was the best experience I've ever had working with
Really?
him. Oh, absolutely. Learned a lot. He was great.
Richard is the only guy that I work with.
Starking?
Starkings, yeah. And the only guy, Jeff has it in his contracts.
Really?
It's Richard or nobody.
Well, it's funny. I ended up working with Workman because Tommy Lee won't work with anybody but John, and it was on Mother Panic, so everyone who worked on Mother Panic got to work with John as well.
Well, Richard, just one of the things, Richard, first of all, has a great design sense. And he also works with another guy that has a superb design sense, John Rochelle. But, and it's really just kind of the two of them. And Richard was one of the pioneers of computer lettering.
Right.
And so what he does is and you can buy these fonts. He creates a font from your own hand lettering so that it always looks organic to the art because of the way you would have done it.
Wow.
And he'll even do that with people who, like, if you guys are familiar with, I'm sure you are, Mobius's lettering is pretty fucking sloppy and hard to read.
Yeah.
But it really fits the art.
Yeah. It's fun.
And Richard will, he's never worked with Mobius, but he's worked with other people who were kind of like that. But, there's a Travis font. There's 3 fonts of mine.
Wow.
Based on my hand lettering. And they have algorithms where it doesn't look computer read because, there are 4 different A's or
right.
different B's and that kind of thing.
That's cool.
Jim, you hand letter Girl Scouts?
I am on the new series. I did digital lettering on the last one, which is great, but the new series I wanted to have more of like a underground indie comics feel to it. So I went back to just fully, doing writing, drawing, lettering, and coloring in the true sense of just, I'm the only one really working on this book and I want it to all be me.
Right.
Awesome.
Which I really enjoy. And the advantage of the hand lettering directly on the art boards, obviously, is I'm able to incorporate it into the overall design of the panels and the pages, So
right.
The balloons, the hand lettering, it does become literally another aspect of the art and sound effects and everything. And I actually enjoy that part of the process, that problem solving,
Did you digitally letter the last Girl Scouts yourself?
No, Justin did that, my colorist.
Oh, Justin lettered it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and the advantage of the digital lettering, though, I will say is, since I was writing it, like, I could tweak the writing because you can just cut and paste in new lettering. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I would write the script, Justin would plug in the lettering, and sometimes I'd get the pages back and think, I can change the phrasing in this panel, or I can cut down some of the wordage of this panel, or I could add like a little panel to a background character here if there's room, if I need it. So I think both options are good, especially if you're writing your own material. But this new series, I specifically wanted hand lettering as part of the aesthetic of the whole project,
Right.
Jim, is this out? Is this on stands or?
No, I'm working on my creator-owned book at Image Comics. It's called Girl Scouts, and that's for next year. The series we're talking about with the digital lettering is out. It's called Girl Scouts Magic Socks, and it came out in, like 2 years ago. So like, end of 2017, basically. 3 years ago.
All right. I'll take a look for it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about it.
Is it in a trade, Jim, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jim, Zoe asked to borrow my copy. She wants to read it now.
Oh, nice. Infecting the youth.
Well, she's got the hoodie now. She doesn't want to be fronting.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
I'm excited to see what she says.
You know what's interesting too, Tim, about like what you were saying about like growing up with the Stan Lee Romita era of like Spider-Man and all that.
Right.
You know, old comic books also used to have thought balloons, right? And
Yeah.
I think thought balloons have been almost permanently eliminated from the Marvel and DC aesthetic, right?
Have they?
And yeah, that's
Very much so, yeah.
it's all about in my head at least. That's all about Moore and Miller. I must have changed all that.
With like the dramatic narration boxes and whatnot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, or just dialogue.
Right. I personally kind of miss the thought balloons.
Yeah, it's a classic icon, the little cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes right hand in hand with, somebody will throw a punch and there's a giant word balloon that they're supposed to be saying in that half a second that it happens.
Right.
But it's a trope from that era of comics, which were actually most of the era of comics, the eras of comics, until the late 80s or early 90s, that I always kind of enjoyed too. I don't think it would work now as much, but a thought balloon can definitely, and there are different ways of doing it. I like the caption of it too, but I miss them. I do.
Marvel a couple of years ago did a book, I forget what it was, but just to do it, they used butt balloons. And it was so aberrant, and it looked so different, read so different than, contemporary comics.
Right.
It was remarkable what a difference it was.
You think it's also, like, I wonder if new readers, like, it's just such a language they don't understand.
I think there's a lot to that. I agree with that.
I mean, for me, I always enjoyed that about comics. Like, learning how to read them was kind of like the secret society thing that it was fun to figure out.
Yeah.
My dad could never get it.
He couldn't get the thought balloons?
Oh, he didn't know where to go,
Oh.
You mean from panel to panel?
I said, Dad, it's left, right, top to bottom. He's an English professor, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's interesting though, Tim, because like I've had friends and people in my life that I've tried to turn on to comics, and certain people, I don't know if it's like certain mind state or whatever, but certain people don't gravitate or understand the dynamics of how to even approach reading and consuming comics. Like, I don't know if it's brain chemistry or something, but some people, it doesn't resonate with them, this idea of like these squares with visuals in them telling you a story in sequence. Like, there's just people that I've tried to turn this stuff onto, and they're like, I don't know, I don't get it. It seems confusing. Or they're used to like the Sunday funnies where it's just 4 panels in a horizontal format with a gag at the end, a joke at the end. So the idea of reading like 24 pages of this, it is too much. It's weird.
Yes, I completely agree. And it also goes along with the predilection to fill the page with so much shit now.
Yeah.
Right.
And breaking the panel borders and full bleeds. And
I agree, Tim. I think
so much
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that wears on the eye. It makes things more confusing.
Yeah, I think Marvel and like DC and what they've done to the books, it's such an uninviting read.
Yeah.
Open it up and look at a page. It's just covered in word balloons and art everywhere. Your mind it doesn't invite you in.
That's what Darwin was so good at.
Yeah, he was.
So easy to read, so much fun to read.
Tim, Jennifer Fox has a question saying,
Hi, Jen.
don't want to kill me. Tim, have you ever thought of doing a live reading of the comics you have so brilliantly brought to life for our eyes?
No, I haven't. What do you guys think? I mean, is that about my voice, Jennifer, or is that why that question?
It's going to take her a second to type.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I also don't know if it would, how well comics read out loud. I mean, obviously some would work better than others, but
It's such a visual.
they're not meant to be
Yeah.
that.
It's sort of the opposite of an audio book. It's like, no, it's a visual.
Right.
Well, you'd have to combine them, in a certain way. Like you guys know when Neil Adams read the Elmer Fudd Batman.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah,
Is that a thing?
yeah. You can find it. Sienkiewicz was the first guy I know that posted it on Facebook.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I bet you could look it up. He read the whole issue, and he said he loved it so much. And he did the voices, and they're not terrible. I mean, it's identifiable as Neil doing Elmer Fudd.
Sure.
Not Mel Blanc, but but who is? Nobody. But there would be pictures to go along with it. You're not just looking at Neil reading a book.
Got it. Okay.
But she says it's it's not only your voice, it's from your point of view and the inflection you would give to it.
I've never tried. I don't. It's interesting.
I think we should do a Kickstarter for Tim to start.
Oh, before we forget, Shawn's got a Indiegogo up and running.
Yeah, I've launched my educational art series with my first video. It's up on Indiegogo. Jay's got the link right up there.
It's there, but I'm going to pop it in the comments section for you to check out.
Yeah, check it out. There's a video kind of showing what it's all going to look like. I wrote it all up. Focusing on traditional inking for the first several videos. I have a lot of guests that are going to be coming and doing videos. So I have high hopes for this.
Shawn, congratulations.
Thank you, Klaus. I'll send it to you when it's done. I definitely want to get your feedback on it.
Oh, I'll definitely take a look at it, of course. But I know you were talking about this a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I've done it. I filmed my first video. I went and shot one with Tommy Lee Edwards a couple weeks ago. And I'm going out to shoot one with Kennedy and another one with Jim next week.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm ready to brainwash the children.
Yes.
And you can...
Shawn, your first video, though, the one you're offering, I mean, it's like how long is it? It's over 3 hours?
Yeah, it's probably gonna. I mean, we're doing the final edit now. It's gonna be between 3 and 4 hours. There's a chance maybe slightly more than 4 hours, and it's instruction the whole time. I mean, it's pretty in depth.
Yeah, wow.
It's a lot of bang for your buck, people.
Yeah, it's $20 for the video. So, I mean, I used to teach at an art school, so I know what art school costs, and I did it long enough that I'm confident as a teacher and as an artist. So, I thought it'd be nice to be able to offer a better experience than art school offers for a fraction of the cost of art school. And even if you're in art school, it's so cheap, it seems like a nice supplemental thing to have.
Sure.
And also, you can also find Jim's art up at inkyknuckles.com, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason.
Sure. Are you doing commissions now, too?
I am. My commission list is actually open right now. So inkyknuckles.com, if you want to get on that list, you can reach out to Cam and he will respond to you.
If you tell him you don't like his mustache, you'll get a discount.
That's not nice.
Hey, what do you guys know about Copic markers? Is anybody using or has used Copic markers?
I've used them a little bit, Tim. Jim, you've used them too, right?
I have. You know, Klaus, it's interesting that you brought that up because, Shawn, weren't we talking about this a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Yes.
There was not a rumor, but there was an idea going around online that maybe Copic markers are not the best thing to use because will they eventually turn to gray mush in 5 or 10 years since they're a marker, right?
It's from a podcast I was on, Jim. I was on a podcast, 11 O'Clock Comics, with my friend Jason, and he collects a lot of commissions, and a lot of them are Copic markers. So apparently in the collector market, this has been a discussion. So he flat out asked me on the podcast, will my drawings turn? And I mean, the short answer is yes, but Copic's ink is the best. The thing is, alcohol-based markers, I mean, the pH is not neutral. It's alcohol. It's acidic as hell. So it will eventually go. But the Copic ones seem to last a lot longer than, say, a Sharpie, which, you know, after a year with a Sharpie, that black becomes a purple.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody tried, and I know nothing about Copic markers, so that's why I'm asking, but has anybody tried, you know, like spraying fixative on the piece after it's done? Would that preserve it better?
Well, if you get a good, like, I have this stuff that Eric and I use that will protect it. It's UV protective, but the problem is the marker has the alcohol in it that's starting to eat at the paper the minute you put it on there. So I think that fixative will prolong it, but I don't think there's any permanent, like, it's not going to be archival no matter what you do.
Yeah, I've never used them, but that's not a big surprise since I don't work with color. And I, you know, years ago used to use the Sharpie on not for reproduction work, but at cons. But as soon as archival pens came out, I definitely was using that.
Yeah, I've always used
But I used a
archival.
Rockwell pen for a long time too. And
But what the advantage to Copic markers is that, and tell me I'm wrong, is that they blend well. Is that right?
They blend incredibly well, and they're also very fast, immediate, and it's easy. Like, all you need is some markers. You don't need water. It's not like paint where you need a whole setup.
right, you can't spill it.
Right. Exactly.
So, is there a set of Copic markers, a limited number of Copic markers, or are
There's
there
a bunch of them.
100 of them?
I mean, there's tons of them, Klaus. Every color they can think of. Eric's got the full collection. He sent me a picture, and it's a few hundred of them, I think.
Really?
But you can buy like little sets, like a set of cool grays, they have French grays.
Right, it's like 4 or 5 in a pack, right?
Right. Well, you can get different size sets too. Why are you asking about Copics? Are you
I
thinking?
want to try them. I want to do some commissions with a little bit of color on them. And,
They're fun, and if you use marker paper, which no one uses because it's so thin, but if you use marker like layout paper, they blend even better, and it preserves the life of the marker so much. Because some of the Bristol board just sucks the ink right out of the marker.
well, in particular, I so admire what Eric Canetti does with.
Yeah, Eric's really magic with them.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, then he's like a master of the Copic. I mean, he's like basically painting with these
He's
markers.
Eric. Anything he touches, he's amazing.
Well, and Adam,
Adam Hurley.
Adam Hughes.
And he was,
Yes. Klaus, I'm pretty sure what Adam does is on all his covers, he does a grayscale value marker rendering, scans it in, and then uses Photoshop to turn it to color. Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of his, that's for published work, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, but a lot of he doesn't draw at cons. Well, nobody draws at cons. Now, he didn't draw that much at cons, but a lot of that was Copic.
Right.
Or all of it, probably. And Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
He's really good at it, too.
Yeah, Bruce is great at it.
I don't know if Darwin ever used them. Probably did. But he doesn't, he doesn't render that much.
Right.
And he did use paint, too.
Yeah, that's what I use.
I did. I have a Harley Ivy from Darwin that has Copics.
Okay.
really?
Do you really, Jay?
Hmm?
I never saw that one.
I'll show you.
Is it hanging up in your house?
It's in my portfolio.
Oh.
Jay, did I tell you I watched you and Mike Rice? And
Oh, you did?
yeah, it was fun.
Oh, thanks. I always think I sound like an idiot. So it's.
Oh, yeah. How was that, Jay? I wanted to ask.
What is that?
That was good. Me and Mike Rice went on Comic Art Fans live stream to talk about collecting and stuff.
I thought it was really great with you guys. Mike didn't talk much, but
Mike, it was funny. He was saying how he didn't think he had any good art. I was like, dude, he's got all his stuff is good stuff. He's got Kari Andrews, Adam Hughes. He's got all kinds of good shit.
Tim Sale.
Would you consider him like a legendary collector, basically?
Say it again?
Would you consider him to be like a legendary kind of collector?
No, not in that sense, because there's so many guys that have been doing it for longer with crazier prime pieces, historic pieces, I guess.
Right.
But you could go through Comic Art Fans and still find a piece in everyone's gallery that you drool over. But some of these guys have been collecting since the 70s or 60s, and just unbelievable.
And
All that shit you never see, except for
I know. Well, I'm just thinking those are the guys that have the Jack Kirby stuff. That's what I want to see.
the Buscema stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome to see.
But so much of that was stolen, I mean, that's the thing about it.
Was it
Right.
really?
Yeah, Marvel especially was terrible at either just giving shit away. It was thought to be disposable,
Yeah, right.
or they just didn't store it very well, and staff would just take whole issues of things.
We used to give it away at the Marvel offices too, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I said at the beginning. Yeah, if you went up to visit, here have a have a page.
Sure, thanks. It's only $20,000.
Man.
It was nothing then.
Yeah.
20 now, 100 now.
I think it was Howard Chaykin that told me a story of we went into the offices one day and they had just dumped a bunch of old work in a dumpster out back, and he went through it and found some real treasures in there.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
there are a lot of stories like that. Not just of comic work, of like great old movie poster paintings.
Wow.
Mark Irwin has some stories like that too, even working at Upper Deck.
Right, yeah, he told me some of those.
Yeah, as early as the late '90s, they were throwing away Alex Ross stuff or stupid stuff.
Wow. It's crazy.
How's it coming for you guys?
That looks really good, Shawn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's good, man. I'm having fun.
Oh, Jim, that's killer, dude. I knew you were going to bring some cool powder into that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just figured let's build off all this liney goodness, this stuff going on.
Jim, that looks amazing.
Thank you.
I don't like it, Jim. I'm sorry.
You're like, not my cup of tea.
I like that white shape in there, Tim. That's really solid.
Thanks.
Was
Yeah,
that in the drawing, or did you add that?
I added that.
That's nice. Nice.
That's what I was talking about earlier with the negative space.
Right. Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks.
Klaus, how are you doing?
Done, he's having
I'm
lunch.
kind of unhappy with it right now.
Are you using nib primarily on this one?
Yeah, I can't really see what the character is, so I'm actually looking at yours and Jim's. I'm cheating a little bit,
Well, that's why I asked for the pencils.
Yeah, no, you're
It helped a
absolutely
huge amount.
Yeah.
I just need to make them darker next time.
Yeah.
Jay, I can show you how to do that. I can show
Or
you.
at least send a Xerox. You know what I'm saying, Jason? Which was what we did last time.
Yeah. Well, I just asked him for a scan of the pencils. And it, once I had the scan of the pencils, looking at the blue line, which I couldn't make heads or tails of before,
Of course, yeah.
suddenly I could see things
Yeah.
that I didn't see before.
Hey, it's Dan Panosian,
Dan Panosian, my
the
favorite
talent guy on Twitter.
Wait, Dan's in here? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
I would say, Dan, turn on
Dan's question. Oh, go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
your camera, Dan, and start drawing with us right now.
Yeah, Dan's question isn't really a question. It's more of, hey, everyone, look, it's me. Pay attention to me. I'm here. I'm Dan. I need attention.
Wow. Well, Dan does invite that sort of
Here, I'll send him a link and see if he wants to come in.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
He's going to take over. You realize this.
It's okay.
yeah, I look forward to it. Tired of you guys. Tired of me.
Dan, I sent you a link. If
Come on, Dan. Come on.
okay. So it's been like 2 months, right, since we did our last stream.
Yeah, I'm all set. If you want to do it like monthly, I'd be down for that, Jay. We talked about that briefly.
Yeah. Which
Like on my new computer, so that's all better.
Jim, you have a new computer?
Yeah. Well, I had an Air before, and it was just so full of stuff that even though I had external stuff and I was always backing it up and everything, it just moved too slowly.
Yeah.
And it was the only computer I had. And I got it mainly because I would travel. And it's so much lighter than a Pro.
Sure.
A MacBook Pro. And so now I have that to sort of carry around the house or something. But the Pro is always in my studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Got it here.
I have to confess, and please don't hold this against me, but I really thought that I made it in life when I had 2 laptops.
Yeah, yeah.
That was, okay, that's it. It's not going to get any better than this.
That's
Yeah.
where that was your stepping point, your pinnacle.
It absolutely was.
I think someone recently on Twitter that was the question: is when did you realize you made it as an artist?
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah.
I'll let you know when I get there.
There you go. I knew that I had made it when Dan Panosian started giving me rides to Drink and Draw when I lived in LA. He was like, "Hey man, we live close enough. Like, I'll drive down the hill. I'll pick you up on the way to Drink and Draw in like his aggressive, incredible muscle car." And I was like, I've made it. Dan Panosian from Extreme Studios and Drink and Draw co-founder is driving me to Drink and Draw. This is huge. This is life.
Yeah, that is pretty huge. I think Dan needs to come on in and tell us some stories.
He said he has to go out with the family.
Oh, he's such a...
That's a lie.
Man.
Hey, if you're married to Elena, first time I met Dan, he was Wolverine. It was like Halloween at a con in Long Beach.
Yes, I remember he did that.
And it was so funny because he was so done up, and he's just a little musclehead. But he just was beaming. He was so friendly and nice, and I think he was working with. He and Dave were working with you at that point, Jay. I think.
Yeah, they came on board
before I was, maybe even, right? So.
Yeah, it was a Halloween, right? Long Beach Con that just
sounds
good.
right.
Nobody showed up.
Well, that's Long Beach, yeah.
Oh, I remember those shows. Yeah.
Oh, they're all terrible.
Yeah, they would give us a free. I mean, they'd give me a free table, so I'd always show up with high hopes, and then it was just always kind of like, oh yeah, Long Beach. There's not a huge community here for this. I don't know. Their hearts were in the right place, though.
Dan's gonna start a new career as a cosplayer, I think.
We're ready for that. We're ready.
Dave was way into building costumes and stuff.
Oh, that's right. They had their samurai suits they made that year.
Yeah.
This is the best cosplayer. This is the best one. Cosplay.
Yeah, I forgot that Dave Johnson, his costuming that he was constructing,
right?
Incredible.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
That Batman samurai thing he built?
Yes.
That was insane.
Yeah. Really impressive.
Yeah, it totally was.
We did a combo Batman Samurai?
Yeah, they have League a samurai warriors.
Do you have pictures of it? Because he really sculpted and built this amazing thing.
Yeah, I think I have them somewhere. Let's see.
Yeah, that was what was so impressive. I mean, obviously, his design sense is impeccable, but just the way he cobbled it together with
the execution of it, I was like, how?
Yeah.
How did you learn to do this? Like, this is nuts.
And then, of course, he would say stuff like, "Oh, no, it's easy. You just
right."
He used to tell me that about Photoshop because I'm still a Photoshop idiot. I don't try to color anything. But I'd like to be able to do some rudimentary things other than just, change the levels and that kind of stuff,
Sure.
or a photo merge or something. But since Jason never does that for me,
I used to
do that. And he'd say, "Well, that's easy. I teach you that in 2 seconds." Well, you haven't. And that's the kind of thing that, hey, Mirko.
Yeah, Mirko's here. Hey, Mirko.
And when Dan says he made those costumes out of trash cans.
Yeah.
Dave did, yeah.
Wow.
I think
Man.
Brooks has one that is in his basement now.
Fuck Brooks. Another Atlanta guy.
Yep.
Give me 1 second. I gotta go grab some water. I'll be back in a second.
Jim, are you done with your first one yet?
No, I'm just playing around with adding some background stuff to this.
You do it too?
It's amazing, Jim.
you
Thank
too?
you.
Are those patterns are just coming out of your head?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, Klaus, I smoke a lot of weed, man. Kidding.
Well, whatever you're doing,
I
you're
didn't know what else to say. I was like,
That's awesome.
now that Jason's gone, the overseer's gone, I'm like, let's turn this into a party.
Yeah, I had a little before we started shooting.
Klaus, I didn't want to like bullshit you with like an arty, farty, pretentious answer of like, yeah, the patterns, man. Like I have a system for how this contrasts with the dynamism of the anatomy, but I just thought it'd be funnier to.
well, whatever you're doing, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really terrific.
It really is.
Thanks, guys.
Tim, when I do I'll do a few videos on Photoshop. I'll make sure to send you copies of those, so at least you'll have some like stuff to watch and follow along with. Maybe it'll help.
Okay. Yeah.
You're talking about Photoshop, Shawn?
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting off the instructional line with inking, but I'm going to branch out into all areas of comic book production. So I'm going to do at least a handful of Photoshop and coloring ones with artists I know that specialize more in that.
Those are the videos that I need to watch.
I tried to learn by using Cheese Book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't crack it.
What is that?
He got
What
mad at me.
He got mad at you?
Well, you know, Mark's always a couple of inches away from being mad at me. Doesn't take much to push him over the edge. But
You know, you really have to know Mark to realize how funny that is. It's hilarious.
but he's also, you know, sweetheart, wonderful guy.
He is a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
Mark's great.
Changed my career for sure.
Absolutely.
Made me a better artist.
Yeah, he's very supportive, right, Tim?
Yes.
Very encouraging, but there's always a little undercurrent of like he's a time bomb looking for a place to explode. You know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh God.
But at any rate, I mean, because he was very proud of it, and when I told him I couldn't figure it out. Of course, it was my fault, right? So,
Right.
it probably was. You know. He and I also had talking about schools and teaching and stuff like that. We had a conversation once, and I eventually said, you know, I was never really that good a student. What I wanted was tips.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, you know, put my stuff up in front of a class and have it critiqued and do all that stuff.
Why was that, Tim?
Oh, I'm just terribly shy about it.
Oh, okay.
And you know, when you're all 20, there's a huge art snob part of students at that point.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It was cruel.
Yeah.
And I want to know part of that. But tips. Hey, you know, if you use this nib or then you can go off and fuck around with it and see if it works for you, see if it doesn't, you know, that kind of
Right.
thing.
What do you mean by the art smell thing, Tim?
Oh, well, at least in my experience, there was a lot of stuff at school. This is University of Washington as an art major. And they know better than you. They're very judgmental. And so there was nothing helpful about knowing more than you, maybe. It was more about, that's right, I'm better. Even though I could draw better than most of them. And, you know, I also fucked myself up. You know, like I took a painting class and I'm colorblind. So what the hell was I thinking, you know? So I did leave myself wide open for that. But still, not very nice.
Do you
But I
not?
wanted to know more too, you know, so tips. Give us some tips.
Right. Klaus, do you not see that as a teacher that your students do that?
You know, I actually don't. That's why I was
Well, actually, let me ask you. You don't teach like freshmen, right?
sophomore.
Oh, okay.
But same thing, you know.
I've found that certain personality types, like they came out of high school, they were the shit in their high school. Now they're in art school, and there's a competitive nature, and they're taking their first comics class. So some of the personality types are very much what Tim was saying. It was almost like they were puffing out their chest, trying to like mark their turf.
Yeah, a lot of different things. You know, I used to do a lot of bicycling,
Right.
and you run into bike snobs. I mean, there's just an awful lot of different interests. You know, nobody was a pro then, but, you know, you talk about, you know, gearheads. Oh, and you don't know that?
Right.
You really don't know very much, do you? You know, that kind of thing.
Right. I got you.
Tim, I'm curious, when you took the painting class, being colorblind, were you able to get anything out of it in terms of understanding at least tone? Like, does that make sense? Like being able to render and maybe
Yeah, it makes sense.
tone?
Oh, I think rendering and the application of the paint, first of all, it was oils, and I don't think that was a smart way to go.
Right.
Acrylics would have been much more forgiving, but they were teaching oils, and so, and man, the house stunk. That was the other. My parents were not happy with me.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure.
But I couldn't, and to this day, the way I describe my color blindness is I can't create with color. I can't say what's good next to something else.
Right.
This needs more of that. It's not that I can't see color, and I can do tone. It's value that fucks me up.
Right.
So, you know, I enjoyed the application of paint, but I now, you know, I discovered, well, I can sort of do that with ink wash, and not in the same way. I can't, you know, I can't make it creamy, you know, like
Right.
just on my my fan page on Facebook, I've been putting up a lot of albums of artists that I love.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that quite a bit, Tim. I meant to tell you.
Thanks. I just really love doing it too.
I'm like getting an education on your Facebook page. I love it.
And I just recently did a thing on Tom Lovell, a spotlight on him, and an album of his. Man, the application of paint is so creamy. Just wonderful. And I can see all of that.
Oh no, he's near.
Hey, Shawn.
Hi, Daniel.
Man, Ocean.
Dan, we love you, dude. We love you.
I got a hall pass from the wifey poo.
Dan, I think you're full of shit. I think your wife is giving you an excuse whenever you don't want to do something.
No, she liked the excuse of not having to deal with me. Probably she says, "Oh yeah, go home with your friend. Get lost." Yeah.
She left without you.
Leave me alone.
She goes, she doesn't have to babysit me anymore. She's already got one little kid. So what is this piece you guys are all, or most of you are working on?
We're all inking Mateo today. They're old Mateo covers.
Yeah, they're all Mateo, but they're not all the same piece.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mateo's he's one of those guys, like, how do you ink Mateo? Because he inks himself so well, and you got to just go a completely different direction, I imagine, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember speaking of Drink and Draw, he showed up at a Drink and Draw in San Diego when we were doing the book launch party, the first, maybe it was the first or the second one, and he was working with Howard Shum on a book called Hyper something. And Hyperkinetic, yeah. And his style was a lot more cartoony, but I looked at the structure of his drawing. I'm like, man, this guy could really, really draw. He could barely speak English. I mean, I think we just kind of like kept nodding at each other and smiling. That was pretty much the conversation. But
was that
everyone
the time you convinced him you were a competitive MMA fighter?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, every time Mateo puts something up, it's like next level. He's so good.
Oh yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Loving COVID, like you guys.
Sure.
Yeah, Dan, I don't hear from you anymore.
So busy. You're so bad.
I was going to ask how the Kickstarter is going, Shawn.
My Indiegogo thing?
Oh, Indiegogo, sorry.
Are you talking about for the instructional thing I'm doing?
Yeah, I had some questions. I was wondering, like, what made you do that instead of, say, doing like a Patreon?
Because what I'm doing is I'm building a library of videos that will teach, like let's say, in my mind, like 50 to 100 videos that will teach all areas of comic book production. And, if someone wants to learn how to do comics, it will be, if they get, 10 videos at $20 to $40 a pop, it's a lot more affordable than art school. And I taught for a while, so I wanted to put my skills to use, but I also am friends with so many people that do so many amazing things. I wanted to record videos with them as well, and just have
like guys like Tommy Lee on there. And
yeah, like I went and shot Tommy Lee's episode a couple weeks ago. I'm going out to Oregon this week to film Eric's episode and Mahfood's, and I'll eventually make my way out to LA, and I'll be wanting to talk to you.
Is Eric in Portland?
Yeah, he is now. Well, he's outside of Portland, not in the city proper.
Did he move, or is he just visiting family?
No. He moved there.
Oh,
I didn't know that. How long is that?
Right before COVID, he moved, like February.
So he decided to start working virtually for, was it
Riot
Legends?
Yeah. He's working
pretty nice of them.
remotely.
I mean, I know everybody is now, but
but when you move,
beforehand.
yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So that's the idea of what I'm doing. So the first year's worth of stuff I'm putting out is going to all be based on inking, traditional inking mainly, because I wanted to sort of catalog and archive a lot of the techniques that are out there right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you going to get guys like Klaus on there?
I would love to get Klaus. I'm going to talk to Klaus. I would love to get Klaus.
I would love to do it.
Okay, well then we will set that up for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Dan, I want to get anyone and everyone that I can.
Gotta get like Mike Huddleston. He'd probably do it.
I'd love to.
Hey, Shawn. Scott is asking if for those videos, do you need to know how to draw?
Well, so my first video that's up now, and we're going to do like how to figure drawing and everything eventually. But the first video that's up now is all about line. Like, what is line? How do you use line? How do you create depth with line? And it gets pretty deep into what line is. So I think it would benefit anyone, no matter where you are in terms of drawing knowledge, because it will give you a more sort of an intent in your drawing.
Yeah, I would imagine that, Scott, an interest is the only thing you really need to know or need to have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Shawn, are you talking about your ink line in particular? Or
Yeah, so the video is, so I did 3 drawings on the video. One was of a character Jim created, Gordy, just a very simple line drawing that I used microns with. And then I did a Robin drawing that I did with a brush that was all line for the most part. And then I did like 3 X-Men to show how you could build depth and atmosphere in a foreground, midground, background situation. And that was with all types of pens, that one. So it's pretty basic, the first one. But the concepts that I'm teaching are ones that I still really like to go back and review in my own work.
Yeah.
Shawn, when you're, I'd like to send my students to your video. Is there? Do you give like a little bit of a preview at all? For free, like
yeah. So on the Indiegogo, there's a video that shows you explains everything. But this week on Monday, probably, I've edited down like a 2.5-minute lesson out of the video that I'm going to be putting out there for free to give everyone kind of a taste of what the video is.
Also, you're a giver.
I am a giver, Dan.
Don't mind my my new title on here.
Dan the creator. Oh, wait.
Link.
That's the real reason I hopped on, Shawn.
I knew it.
I'm going to try to pirate some of your people and then get them on my...
Yeah, just hack into my Indiegogo and the funds will go right to you.
And you can see my junior art set over there, too. My son. I'll send everybody a complimentary, play school desk as part of their intro.
Hey, Dan, do you want to come on my podcast and jam with me and Jim one day?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right.
Have some chit chat. Can I demand you edit it later and then not air it the way
You've already done that. How many did we record before I was able to air one?
At least 2.
Yeah, I think it was 2. You're such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
There's a question for you on the chat.
Yeah, Shawn, there's another question from Jennifer. I work in a middle school. After school, they have an art club. That won't happen anytime soon since the kids aren't in school now. But if someone participated in your indie, are you opposed to it being shown in a classroom/club setting?
Oh, not at all. No. This is, my goal is to get this out in front of as many people as possible. I'm all about teaching art education. In fact, a friend of mine who teaches middle school art is doing the same thing.
Another competitor.
And Jennifer, I thought you had an earlier question about anything. Does anything survive of my days? And no, it does not.
Look at Mark Deering wants to send some people your way too. He's teaching at the Kubert School.
Mark teaches at the Kubert School?
Yeah, he's teaching an online inking course for the Kubert School
awesome.
right now.
I didn't know you taught Mark. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know you don't have a high opinion of Mark, but he has a high opinion of you. So that's nice.
Dan, it's you I don't have a high opinion.
Oh.
It's almost like being at a con.
I know.
New York Comic Con is supposed to be going on right now.
I listened to the Berserker thing with Keanu the other day. That's the only thing I've tuned into for the New York Comic Con. Did you guys check anything out?
I didn't
No, how was that?
I mean, it's always interesting. I was just curious to see, something beyond the video they used for the Kickstarter. I wanted to hear what Keanu had to say about working on it. Apparently, the book's going to be like a 12-issue series.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought it was just going to be a one-shot.
Right.
Did they not raise? Am I wrong about this? Did they not raise $1 million?
I think 1.3, almost 1.4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think publishers are starting to see the gold in there.
Oh, Mark says Klaus is the only one that he has a high opinion of.
Thank you, Mark.
I agree.
I understand, by the way. Yeah, 1.4.
1.5. It was 1.5, I thought.
1.5?
My God.
I was
What are we talking about?
I was talking to Lee Weeks yesterday about it. The Berserker comic with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Matt, Keanu Reeves, and Ron's drawing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Ron?
Garney?
Oh, shit, cool.
Yeah.
It raised almost 1.5. It's $1,447,000.
Dan, do you know if Ron gets a cut of the percentages of the
I don't know.
Indiegogo, or are they giving him his rate?
I don't know what.
That would be pretty shitty.
I think he's.
His rate.
I think he's probably getting something extra. I mean,
I would hope
I
so.
jump ship from Marvel. He's got a great deal over there. So
Well, he's still
Right.
a royalty, I would imagine, right? So
Yeah, that's what I would think.
yeah, I don't know what kind of deal. I haven't talked to Ron in a bit, so who knows what is that? What is that on there? Is that a thumbtack? What is that, Shawn?
Oh, it's a magnetic thumbtack. I work at like a 45-degree angle,
Oh,
so it holds everything on my table is magnets. See, I got a magnet on the back of that.
jeez, so advanced.
Wow.
Magnet for here.
I'm learning so much.
Klaus, you've never worked with magnets.
For me now.
Yeah,
he works with magnates.
I don't see Klaus as a magnet guy, but stage.
I think it's for the future, I heard. I heard it's...
Magnet guy.
Magnet Robert Futter.
I could see Jim Mahfood actually just floating and drawing, easily.
My
The
future.
Buddha master.
So that's a steel table you're working on?
What's that, Tim?
It's a steel table you're working
Yeah,
on?
it's an old architectural drafting table. When I went to grad school in Savannah, there was a firm that went out of business and dumped all their tables at a Salvation Army, and it was $50. It's got like a motorized lift system in it, but it's got something on top of it that's not metal, but under it is metal. Yeah,
Did it come with the magnets, or did you have to supply your own?
No, Dan, that was all me.
Because that would have been a deal.
I had a giant one in Pasadena. I had a giant, like 1,000 pounds or something, wooden table that was probably 8 feet by 6 feet.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, and way up
Mine's
off the
6
ground
feet.
too.
Mine's 6 feet, like long, and I think 3.5 feet deep.
Well, it was kind of similar to you. It was in a it may have been an old prop house.
Wow.
It was selling props, it being LA.
Magnetized?
No, it was just solid wood. It was like oak, about
Wow.
3 inches thick.
That's amazing.
This is why it was so heavy.
Sounds a little boring without the magnets, but that's just my opinion.
It's why God made thumbtacks, Dan.
Dan, what are you working on?
I'm
What
finishing up.
isn't he working on?
Yeah, I'm just doing drink and draw from now on. No, I'm finishing up this week. Should be my last week on this Chinese graphic novel, which has been kind of I guess this is the first time I have to go. When everybody works on something, go, it's a secret. I can't talk about it, but I'm not allowed to talk about it.
No,
But
I understand that.
Yeah.
Fine. Is it a Chinese publisher?
it's a Chinese and French marriage of publishing, so it's going to start in China and then they're going to eventually publish like worldwide.
Very nice.
And it's an adaptation of a novella, so I got to, in a sense, write it. But if you're doing an adaptation,
Oh, that's right. You're a fancy writer now.
Yeah, I changed my name a few times, but before I had Dan the Creator. A little much, but Jason's pretty modest with his just J. He's like, let's not steal anybody's thunder.
Dan, you getting your workouts into these days?
I'm going to exercise today. I put a punching bag, like a heavy bag, up on. There's a little mountain behind my house, and
yeah, I know you tend to post those videos for everyone.
I want everybody to see, like, watch out. I'm tough. That's important.
Is that your primary workout these days?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I do. It's just I don't really lift weights anymore.
Weights are for suckers.
Why is
weights
that?
are heavy. I mean, if you think about it.
Is it a joint thing, or why is that?
Why are weights? Why do I stop working out with weights?
Yeah.
Well, I think I weigh too much for how tall I am, and it's carrying around all that weight. It just doesn't seem like a good idea anymore.
If you lose the gut, that won't be a problem, Dan.
I know. Believe me, that's a big part. If I lose that gut, that's a good 10 pounds or more right there. So I weigh about 210, and I'd like to be about 185.
So the boxing is more of a cardio thing for you?
Yeah, it just keeps you fit and keeps your muscles toned, and
yeah, I mean it builds strength too. I'd imagine.
Strength of character.
Right.
Which I could use. But yeah, how about you? I know you were always doing yoga poses and having tantric sex with, whatever you're up to.
With Eric.
with who?
With Eric and Mateo.
I was going to say something terrible to combine it with your Indiegogo, but I was like, that won't go well.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt because this is highly entertaining, but I got to get out of here.
Is it me,
All right.
Klaus?
Want to show us that piece?
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, fine.
If you had a magnet, we would have already seen it.
I think if Dan left, Klaus might stay.
Probably. Oh, wow.
It's not good. It's just crap. Come on, give me a break.
It's upside down.
It is upside down, though, but
Upside
it's
down.
beautiful. I love that texture on the
Yeah,
on
that's
the arm.
beautiful.
I had no choice. I didn't know what this was, so I resorted to texture.
Yeah, but it gives it so much volume, too.
That looks great.
All right, Dan, you're very kind. Guys, I'll see you soon, okay? Let's do this monthly at least.
Okay, Klaus, I'll email
Bye,
you.
Klaus.
Say hi to Whole
All
Foods.
right, I'll talk to you.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you.
Yeah.
All right, he's gone. We can talk shit now.
Yeah.
So Dan, you're just busy with that book for the French.
I'm busy with that, and then I'll be starting a new one relatively soon.
For them?
With a fancy schmancy writer.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then I am working on Unkindness of Ravens. I do a little bit of art on that, but mostly it's just writing.
What do you do in the art? Just the covers?
I do the covers, but all the cover artists we have are better than me. So I look at those, and when the book comes out in trade paperback, I think we're going to use this Christina's cover to be the main cover because it came
Whose
out.
cover?
Her name's Christina. She's this amazing artist that almost no one's heard of, but it's like one of those people like James Jean in a sense, where you're like, when you start seeing those Fables covers, you're like, oh
Yeah.
God, this guy's a real problem. And she's the same way, and she's like 25 years old, and the covers are just nuts. They're so good.
Oh, fuck.
So I do the covers, but the other covers are, those are the ones I think this generation of comic book fans are probably really digging. But I do the inside. I also do. There's bookend pieces. So there's 4 pages of art and story that kind of go like a companion to the actual story. It can.
Is this a creation of yours? This book?
Yeah. So I created it at Boom, and then they hired the art team. The art team's really good. We lucked out, and the covers, like I said, are amazing too.
Boom's doing some nice work, man.
Yeah, that Folklords looks amazing by Matt Kint. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
And the guy who did Barbarian Lord, what's his name? Matt. He's drawing it. Forget his name.
Somebody else is drawing Barbarian other than you?
His Twitter handle is Barbarian Lord.
That's
I'm just an urban barbarian. I'm like a garden variety barbarian.
Yeah. You're the barbarian with the dad bod.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to start doing some power yoga.
You really
what's
should,
up.
Dan. Although honestly, I've been running a lot and lifting a lot heavier than I have in the past few years. But I'm still doing yoga too.
Shirtless?
Of course.
It's hot yoga, naked.
Yeah, dude, it's like 98 degrees in that room.
Now I kind of want to take hot yoga with you one day. Maybe we could do that as a podcast.
All right, let's do it. I'll tell you what, Dan, when we do an episode of yours for my Inkpulp instruction, we'll go to a hot yoga class together and film that and put it in there too.
Pass. I'm out. Bring Dave Johnson.
What's that?
Bring Dave Johnson.
Okay.
Jim is throwing down the canary yellow.
That's his signature move.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's
He's like, hi everybody. This is what's up.
we're partying,
Chiarello.
Yeah.
getting weird. Why not?
That's so unlike you, Jim.
Dan, tell us stories of when you used to pick up Jim for drink and draw back in the day in your.
I was always, what always made me happy was whenever I'd be driving around LA or Sunset and I'd spot Jim Mahfood, which would be often just on the street or at Trader Joe's. I'd be like, Jim Mahfood, yay! My wife is, Jim's a likable guy, so it's always a pleasure to see him. But Jim was great at especially the early drink and draws when we just go to, before Casey's, we went to
The Falcon.
Barney's too. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
fun.
It's weird, man. I'm one of the few people that would actually walk around LA. Like I would walk around my neighborhood, and friends would always see me and they'd be like, "Why are you walking?"
Well, like to Falcon, you could have what's that? 2 blocks from where you lived?
Oh yeah, man. I live 2 blocks up the street from Sunset Boulevard. So for me, it's like I have 2 legs that work and I can walk. But LA is such a car-driven.
Yeah.
It's such a car culture that friends would be alarmed. Like, I saw you walking the other day. What were you doing?
Yeah, is everything okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the restaurant Toy, and then across the street, Meltdown Comics, which was sadly this amazing comic book store.
Yeah.
And Jim was like a fixture there. Everybody knew him.
Yeah. We got to use their back gallery for like gallery shows and party stuff.
That's awesome.
Jeff Johnson had a great idea that I passed along to those guys a little too late because they were filming all those Comedy Central. Was it Comedy Central or Jim? What was that thing they were doing in the back?
They started doing the Nerd Melt.
Nerdist.
Right.
Nerdist.
Yeah.
Back there.
So
yeah.
I don't remember what night it was, but there would be a line out the door to get into this Nerdist thing, and they were charging a Nerdist, and then we're charging a modest entrance fee to sit there and be a part of the audience and get this great show. But Jeff Johnson's idea was like, what if it was a 2 comic book minimum? And then you have to show the 2 comic books and the receipt or whatever to get in. And what you do is it's such a great idea because if you're not a comic book fan, but you're going in there, you're not just going to randomly, very few people would just randomly pick up 2 comic books going, oh, I got to buy these 2 comics to see this show. You're going to sit there and peruse what's in the store and really probably make a personal decision. And then you're going to have this comic book you're going to go home with. You're going to read it and you're going to keep coming back to Meltdown. And I think that would have been a real boon,
Right.
It was such a great idea.
That's why Meltdown's down.
That's why exactly, 100%, because Jeff was so covetous with his ideas.
Dan, how long do you think Elena will stay married with you?
So far, it's been 16
Or she
years.
can't take it anymore. What?
Well, it's been 16 years, and she really hears only about 5% of what I say.
Okay.
So she's got a system.
She's
already.
mastered that art of tuning you out.
I mean, I really don't matter in this household.
How's your boy doing?
He's doing great. He discovered, maybe for the best or for the worst, he discovered Roblox.
Oh, Roblox. I remember my kids were into that.
Yeah, he loves
How
it.
old is he now?
He's 6.
Wow, 6?
Damn.
Yeah, he can talk. He can read a little bit now. It's so crazy.
Damn, man. Wow.
You remember meeting my kids, Dan? Or at least my daughter, I think you
I
met.
think I maybe met only one of your kids.
Yeah, my daughter. She's in college now.
Yeah, she didn't like me. I remember that.
I warned her about you.
She looked at me and she was like,
I can always remind her who you are because I'm like the smartass who's sitting next to me, the barbarian. Oh, yeah.
So what made Canetti move?
His wife is from that area and they have a baby and she wanted to be close to family.
That probably helps quite a bit. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Dan, are you guys still doing your drink and draw videos?
Yeah, we are. We got a great guest coming up for like our Halloween episode. But Kelly Jones is going to be on.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Rick Leonardi, which I'm a huge Rick Leonardi.
Oh, I'm a huge fan too.
Yeah, so I can't wait to get them on. Mostly we'll like pick like some random subject, like we did Sandman this week, and I think we're going to do Death next week.
Your Sandman looked great.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, both yours and Dave's.
Yeah, you're really killing it, Dan. It's kind of sickening how good you've gotten.
Do you mean that?
I do, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Shawn.
I completely agree.
Yes, I don't know. I have more fun doing those drawings than I am like doing regular covers. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
You can tell, definitely.
How much of that do you get done ahead of time?
I spend about an hour before the show penciling it out because it's pretty light. I do most of my work with ink, so
Just like I taught you.
just exactly.
I'm glad to see you taking the advice, the wisdom that I
Bestow. I just saw some sprinkling magic.
What's that?
We just saw some sprinkling magic.
Yeah.
Can we see Jim's? There we go.
Little paint splatter.
I used a little splatter in
Really pretty, Jim.
on a Sandman piece I did the other day. Just to kind of give it a.
Right? It's fun to make a
It
mess.
is fun. Jeff Johnson and I always talk about. We gotta add some Mahfoodisms to this. I don't know. Your stuff always has so much kinetic energy and life, and organized chaos.
Right. Thank you. Is Jeff Jeff's in Oregon, right? Where does he?
Yeah, he's in Medford, Oregon,
Okay.
and he used to come out here. I actually, when he moved to Oregon, I actually physically saw him more because he would visit LA so much because he's got a lot of friends here, and he would go to a lot of shows. So it's got to be killing him to be up there and not being able to travel.
Yeah.
What did you do up in Oregon? Does he work for a studio up there?
No, they just got a little tired of LA, and it's real pretty there, and probably more reasonable price wise.
Right. So he's just working freelance?
Yeah, Jeff is working on this cool creator-owned book, but I don't. He's banking a few issues before they start publishing them.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, he's got Brendan Wagner, Matt Wagner's son, is coloring it and killing it. I mean,
Yeah. Brennan's great.
Yeah, Harry's great. I've heard that.
So they're teaming up on the art, and it's a fantasy book, so it's right there in line with Jeff's great at. So yeah, I miss him, and I certainly miss him now with COVID, because now I really don't see him. But if we can get a little bit more Trump in for another 4 years, I think we can take care of this and wipe it out.
Oh, dude.
We could all be immune.
Yeah, well, you have to start out strong and powerful. So,
Right. He's such a strong guy.
look at him.
Symbol of strength.
Yeah.
It's like a fleshy bag of milk.
Yeah.
Fleshy Bag of Milk is the name of my new punk band, Shawn.
All right, perfect.
We're getting our first EP together. It's going to be real nice.
Dude, what is going on with the kids today? You've got this guy Trump in office. Where's the punk music?
Oh,
Like,
well,
where's the rebellion?
That's a whole other discussion. Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. Dan, we'd like to get your thoughts on that. Go.
Yeah, my thoughts on punk music. I think that's a Rick Remender topic.
Yeah.
I was a metal guy. I always liked punk, but I liked metal the most growing up.
What are your thoughts on us losing Eddie this week?
That bums me out. I mean, that guy he's battling health problems for a long time. You just never imagine it's actually gonna, happen like that. I got to see him in concert twice.
Oh shit!
And with David Lee Roth on vocals. So
Wow. That's awesome.
Wow, amazing. Yeah.
I wonder, did Bill Sienkiewicz do a Van Halen piece or not?
I haven't seen it yet, but Dan, I did an Eddie Van Halen tribute piece the day he passed, and
I'm gonna go look at it now.
Go check it out on Instagram. Let me know. It might be as good as a Sienkiewicz. I don't know.
Is it just the red lines?
I can't even.
Hold on.
It.
Check it out right now.
Dan, how are you
Oh, that's
doing?
pretty badass, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was badass.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that guitar in there with the red, white pattern, it's like that's Eddie Van Halen.
Exactly. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I'm waiting for the Sienkiewicz tribute piece.
Yeah, he's taking his sweet time. It came out great. Yeah, mine would just be Dave Johnson's would just be a guitar with the entire thing in silhouette with the stripes, the white and red.
Right.
So what's the story behind this one, Kush God? What's the inner monologue of this character saying?
He's prepping for the destruction of Dan Panosian.
Ah!
What was that?
That's my.
Good, Shawn. That looks good.
What was that sound effect, Dan?
I'm not lifting weights anymore. I've kind of decreased in masculinity, and
Your testosterone levels have dropped.
it dropped significantly.
So, Dan, do you take your son out for Halloween this year, or like how does Halloween work?
They had at the school, which is right down by my house. Apparently, like every year, they have a Halloween event that's outside in the courtyard, like playground area of the elementary school. And I guess they're still going to have it this year. It's because it's outdoors. And I guess people wear masks, but they're thinking of redoing maybe in January, kids going back to school. So all the parents are getting tested first. Then they're going to test the kids just to see where people are at with the pandemic. And that'll be a determiner, But as far as us going out, there's not too many places like the aquarium of in Long Beach, where the Long Beach Con is at. They're letting people visit the outside tanks, and you have 2 hours to do it, and only a limited amount of people. You have to make reservations, so not a whole lot of things to do.
Dude, where I live is just open. It has been for a long time.
Well, sometimes I go outside and then I just kick them out and then lock the door and then
See if he gets in.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, the sun's going down, get back in here, make us dinner.
It builds character.
Yeah, you get some alone time, I get some alone time, it works out for everybody. But yeah, no, you know what? It's amazing just how adaptable kids are, because he was just on Zoom with one friend, and another friend's popping in. He knows how to use an iPad and jump all around.
Oh, sure.
It's crazy.
You know, Dan, you've become a real writer. You're on here doing nothing and getting the spotlight. You've kind of mastered that art of being a writer.
He puts himself as the new Klaus.
The new Klaus.
I'd love to be the new Klaus. That
How
would be
dare
amazing.
you, sir? How dare you?
If Klaus saw that, he'd jump back on, and I'd get a talking to. But
Yeah.
do you like the shirt? Hold on.
What is it?
Pain don't hurt.
Wow.
It's got
Patrick.
on
The acclaimed actor Patrick Swayze.
it.
Yeah. Roadhouse, classic.
Ben DeFeo got me that shirt.
Who did?
Ben DeFeo.
Oh, did he? How's Ben doing?
Not good. He's you know, he's holed up there in Missouri, and I think can't be easy on him and the family.
Right.
You know, one of his son just went away to college. His son's like a mini me, so I know that probably wasn't easy for him.
Right.
I don't get the impression he really enjoys the drink and draw, hosting the drink and draw live stream.
No?
No, but then Ben's a hard guy to read, you know.
Well, he also has to deal with you, so I can understand.
True. And Dave's very feisty during the pandemic.
Dave Johnson lives back in LA again, right? Did he move back?
Yeah, he moved by Man's Chinese.
Oh, that's my old hood, basically.
Yeah, but he's right. You know, he's kind of right in there, right across the street from Man's Chinese, and so it's like you could kind of get away from the tourist aspect. Dave's right in the heat of it.
Oh man, I don't imagine Dave living there at all, man.
I know.
That's a shit show right there.
I know. I think it appealed to him in the beginning, and now he's like, he's ready. I think he's ready to move out of that place.
Okay. He must be angrier than ever.
Yeah, he is. Well, we'd go out all the time. We'd go to Jones. We'd go, have a drink here and there, grab some grub, watch the UFC fights together. It's very, very difficult to do anything now.
Yeah, sure.
And Lena was always worried that Dave had cooties, and now, with this thing going on, she's really concerned.
Airborne cooties.
Yeah. Look at Tim Sale's. Tim Sale has like the panoramic full screen.
Hell yeah.
No, I meant when all the screens are together, showcased.
That's
It's got the widescreen version. I guess Shawn does too.
Yeah, I'm on widescreen.
I have no idea how that happens. I didn't do nothing. I did on my end.
No. I wouldn't mind transitioning more into writing. I really enjoy it.
Really?
Well, look, I'm not drawing right now.
I know, but
I'm happy about that. I can just jabber.
Are you?
I just have to type it. That's always my goal.
We definitely want to see new art from you at all times, though, man.
That's what drink and draw is for.
Don't deprive the world of those ink skills.
Oh yeah.
I mean that ironically. I mean, we really do want to see you make new shit.
Yeah, I agree.
no, I mean, you seriously, just in the last 5 years, you seem like you're really being energized by drawing more.
I love it. I mean, there's so much to learn, and like I always say, like being at Essential Sequential, not to brag, but I think like the Essential Sequential roster has got to be the best of the best in the industry. It's insane. I mean, that's quite a group, and to sit there at these shows typically and see everybody's work firsthand and see how artists are doing, it's very inspiring, and you can't help but learn a lot just by osmosis.
Yeah, for sure.
Torques you so fast that you can, stay busy doing all kinds of different things.
When it comes to the inking, I'm pretty speedy.
And you're also a very savvy businessman with your $35 head sketches.
Yeah, remember that? That was Becky Clunan. Becky Clunan taught me that.
Becky makes it work. You did not.
I did not. That was a disaster that one time. We had like so many of them, and I'm like, geez, it's taking me. I worked out the time. I'm like, I could have just done a big commission and made.
I know you kept making fun of me because that Thor was taking forever.
Oh, I made so many mistakes in life.
Philip is asking, what traditional art does Dan use as inspiration?
Crom.
What traditional art?
I'd say Drucker, right? More Drucker's a big one.
More Drucker, Jack Davis, but I also like Charles Dana Gibson. I like the sketchiness of like a James Montgomery Flagg, where he just kind of James Montgomery Flagg's like a more chaotic version of Gibson. And
about Clement Cole.
Yeah, I like him too. I like the more like aggressive lines of James Montgomery Flagg, I guess. But like Charles Dana Gibson, there's a serenity to that line and his take on art. Like there's just a cohesive peacefulness to it. And James, I mean, if you ever even see a picture of like James Flagg, he looks like he wants to murder you, So I don't know. There's something that I prefer the technique and draftsmanship of like Charles Dana Gibson, but I notice like my work starts to look when I'm trying to put that work into it, it comes out more like Flagg. And same thing with like more Drucker. I think I personally like Drucker's stuff, like his Mad work, more than Jack Davis's. But it's hard. They're very similar, those guys.
Yeah, no, Davis's Two-Fisted Tales and stuff like that is.
Yeah, and
that's
Jack Davis
work, I think.
And Jack Davis, my God, when he does color, like his watercolor.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
I got to learn how to do that a little bit more. I mean, that's probably what, with more time, I'd probably be trying to watercolor more. And I don't know about you guys, but like Jim is kind of fearless when it comes to color and splashing stuff down and experimenting. But I think really all it takes is experimenting. I just got to get a little bit more courageous.
Yeah.
Just start.
Yeah, I started jumping into painting. It was kind of like exactly a year ago.
It looked good. I saw some stuff you put on. I really like the painting.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was really cool. What was that last piece? Was it a Hulk?
Yeah, the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, that one came out great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good color sense. That guy who colored the story you drew and I wrote for AWA, was that a pick of yours or Axel's?
Yeah.
Was that your pick?
Yeah, no, that was mine. I try to work with Jean-Francois whenever I can.
Well, that guy should be coloring all your stuff if you're not coloring it. I mean, you guys are a perfect.
Yeah, I think he's amazing. He's the guy, he colors Scotty in all of Scotty's books.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, wow, I never heard of this guy, though. He's
oh, my God, he's amazing. He can draw and paint really well, too.
That's like the colorist that's doing Unkindness of Ravens at Boom for us. She's a fantastic artist in her own right. This girl, Fabiana Mascalo. Probably a close friend of Matteo's. All Italian comic artists are friends.
Right.
Guys, I might have to bounce here pretty soon.
Okay.
It's getting really good. Well, yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock.
Ooh, that's right. I better get going too.
You have a meeting, Jim?
I have Saturday's my day where I actually go into the world and like meet with humans in real life.
Wow.
In a careful, masked way, obviously, of course. But yeah, it's the one day of the week where I'm like, okay, I have to get out for a bit.
Yeah, you do for your sanity, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever driven down to Methford?
No, that's why I was asking where Jeff was, because I don't ever leave Portland, so the outskirts of Oregon
make me slightly nervous at times because I don't know who.
Well, Jeff is. I mean, I asked him. I was like, "Man, how close is Portland?" And thinking it's all relatively close, but it isn't. So I think he's more on the bottom of the state. So it might be 4 hours.
Medford, and Oregon is a huge state. It's like Montana.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that big.
Yeah, we need a visit though, and I thought I'd be in LA a lot this year, man, because I'm working on like an animated thing, and I got it into my contract that they would pay for my travel to LA.
Awesome.
And then animation is all gone to just people working at home on their Cintiqs. So I haven't been anywhere this year,
That sucks.
So,
well, enjoy your Saturday.
But thanks, you guys.
Let's see, Jim. Can we see your piece real quick?
Sure.
Dope.
Yeah, you can check out Jim's art over at Inky Knuckles, by the way, if you want to go and give him some support.
While you're gone, Jim, we're gonna have Shawn critique it, and then you can, if you don't mind.
You guys can break it apart. You can scratch it.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go too.
All right, I'm gonna stay. Me and Jason are gonna stay.
I'll be here. I'm still grinding away. If you want to keep going, I'll be here.
No, I'll go and play with my kid. Ugh.
All right. I guess this is the end, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Bye, everybody in the whole wide world.
We'll see you.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Jason.
Great talking to all you guys. I love that we can all do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye.
Thanks.
This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life.